Every new update about the Harry Potter reboot seems to stir up fresh controversy. This time, fans were outraged by reports that Cillian Murphy was supposedly being considered, not for Voldemort, but just for Professor Quirrell. However, new insider reports suggest HBO is making a sharp course correction. The backlash appears to have forced the studio to rethink its approach. Supposedly, Snape will no longer be race-swapped, and the casting will now stick closely to the character descriptions from the original books. But is that actually true? The only thing we can do for now is wait for the official casting announcement. As of January 21st, HBO has only officially confirmed the showrunner and executive producer, Francesca Gardner, has taken the lead, with Mark Mylod as both her partner and the series director. Let's be real, that's a powerhouse duo. Gardner's track record is nearly flawless, with every project she's worked on rated above 7 on IMDb. Her work on Succession alone cemented the show as one of the best of the last decade. Meanwhile, Mylod needs no introduction. His resume includes Shameless, Game of Thrones, and a long list of other top-tier productions. But the most reassuring part? Gardner has already made it clear that she won't be pushing any provocative agendas. She intends to adapt Rowling's books faithfully. On top of that, a certain screenwriter who bragged about never reading Harry Potter has reportedly been kicked off the team. Now let's talk casting. According to Jason Isaacs, who played Lucius Malfoy in the original films, many key roles have already been filled. Not only that, but he claims the new actors are incredible and that the casting process is being overseen by the same team that worked on the original films, Rowling herself included. However, there's a major difference this time around. Back in the day, Rowling had veto power over casting decisions, which is how we ended up with Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and Daniel Radcliffe, despite the studio initially favoring other actors like Jake Lloyd and Haley Joel Osment. Now, though, final casting decisions rest with HBO, while Rowling serves only as a consultant. Whether that's a good or bad thing remains to be seen. That said, we do have a few confirmed names. For instance, Aunt Petunia will be played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a choice fans have pointed out aligns perfectly with the book's description of the character. After the uproar over a rumored Black Snape, word is that HBO has decided to stick strictly to canon. Ironically, even the original films weren't always faithful when it came to character ages. For example, in The Sorcerer's Stone, Snape is supposed to be just 31, but he was portrayed by Alan Rickman, who was 55 at the time. To keep things visually consistent, the filmmakers had to age up most of the adult cast, resulting in an older Sirius Black, a more mature Order of the Phoenix, and even a much older McGonagall than in the books. If HBO is really going back to the source material, the characters' ages will likely match the books, which could dramatically change how the series looks and feels. Insiders now claim that HBO is fully committed to book-accurate depictions, moving away from Hollywood-style reinterpretations. If that's true, we could be seeing characters that look much closer to how they were described in the novels. But one thing is clear. The studio is rethinking its approach after the massive fan backlash. There are still some major questions about casting, but the creative team behind the show is solid, which gives fans a reason to be cautiously optimistic. In the meantime, we can always revisit the original films while we wait for official announcements. As for the reboot itself, all we can do is hope HBO truly respects the books. At the very least, making sure the character's age is aligned with the novels is already a huge step in the right direction. Another big question fans have been debating is whether any actors from the original films could return. The Lord of the Rings has shown that bringing back legacy actors can work, and some rumors suggest that certain Harry Potter alumni wouldn't mind coming back. At one point, Daniel Radcliffe even said he'd love to play James Potter in a future adaptation. However, he recently shut that idea down, stating that the reboot is going in a completely new direction, from casting to production, and he fully supports that approach. Many believe Radcliffe's sudden change of heart has to do with his public split from Rowling. He's made it clear that they no longer speak, and now that she's involved in the new series as an executive producer, it seems he wants nothing to do with it. That might not be the case for all his former co-stars, though. Rumor has it Rupert Grint is open to returning in some capacity. It wouldn't be a bad move for him. His career hasn't taken off as successfully as Radcliffe's or Watson's, and a role in the reboot could give him a fresh career boost, or at the very least, a solid paycheck. Some tabloids have even claimed that his willingness to work with HBO has caused friction between him and Radcliffe, who remains opposed to anything associated with Rowling. Whether that's true or just media gossip is up to interpretation. There have also been whispers that Warner Brothers and HBO are looking to acquire full rights to the Wizarding World, possibly to distance themselves from Rowling in the future. However, as of now, these rumors remain unconfirmed. What is confirmed is that Rowling likely won't be heavily involved in day-to-day production, but will oversee the overall direction and tone of the series. While we don't yet have concrete casting details, the fact that Rowling has expressed enthusiasm about the script has reassured many longtime fans. She's even shared personal reflections on the reboot, saying that the end of the original film series was an emotional moment for her, and she's thrilled to see the story come full circle. Following the announcement of the key creators behind the project, HBO confirmed that the series will span 10 years, with each season covering one of the 7 main books. This means that new seasons are expected to release roughly every year and a half, a pretty decent pace compared to the usual 2-year gap between seasons for most modern shows. Stay tuned.